I thank you so much for waking up with us here on this Friday. Made it to the end of the week. It is 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. It's the last day before winter begins.
Wow, can you believe it?
Last day of fall today. It's been feeling very summery, springy, right?
It has
Not
been,
so much seasonal. But look at this view. Another gorgeous start to the morning. I love all these colors each day. Yeah. San Diego putting on a show for everyone who's visiting us here in town. Welcome. Patchy fog along parts of the coast, although it's improving. In this view, Mount Soledad, you can see a little cloud coverage kind of disappearing. Onshore winds do come through, which means temperatures are cooling. High surf will be happening soon this weekend. 8 to 12-foot waves. Hey, visibility. The clouds are lifting, so hopefully that means the plains will too. Dense fog advisory, though, in effect until 10 a.m. with the possibility of patchy fog. And of course, it's a busy day at the airport this morning, so we have been keeping an eye on the holiday travel rush as people, are trying to get through that fog. Overnight, it was really tough. Already off to a bumpy start because of dense fog.
Yeah, it certainly impacted those earlier flights when visibility was way lower than it is now. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at San Diego International Airport with how it looks out there today, how those lines looking.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta. Well, those lines I can show you, we're in Terminal 2. This is actually the area where people are trying to rebook or reschedule. Some of them looking at their flight status, seeing if the flight has been pushed back or canceled. Now, if we give you a live look at the board, just seeing some of the departures and arrivals, a lot of yellow, a lot of red, just showing really the foggy conditions and what it's causing, right? We're still looking at delays and cancellation. So if you are traveling out of the San Diego International Airport, definitely expect some delays and check to see if you are delayed, because right now the visibility is not the best right now. We've been talking to several people, obviously saying this is not the best time to have this just because we're so close to the holidays. Many people trying to get home to their destination, and they're met with this type of situation or frustration. So again, just looking at just the amount of people who are waiting around, seeing what is going on, trying to figure out exactly how long it's going to be, some of their delays and stuff. Hi guys, we wanted to see how you guys are doing. So did you guys just get here, or where are you guys trying to get to?
Dallas.
Dallas. Did you see your flight status? Did they give you a notification?
As I was on my way here, they said it was a 2-hour delay, so.
2-hour delay. I mean, just probably not the time to be dealing with this. Nobody wants to be stuck at the airport. What's going through your mind right now?
I'll get a little more lounge time.
A little more lounge time. Yeah, there you go. Positive energy. I love that. Where are you guys? Is it for the holidays, Christmas? Yeah. Who are you visiting?
Family.
Family. All right. What was your name?
Brian.
Brian, heading to Dallas. Hopefully you guys are able to head out and, go to Texas soon, see some family. So, positive energy, that's the best way to do. Be holly and jolly because it's Christmas. So, again, just check your flight status if you're heading out of the San Diego International Airport. I'll send it back to you for now.
I like that. Some people need a little more lounge time.
Lounge time's important, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to spend those 2 hours. It's going to be busy out on the roads, folks. AAA predicting over 107 million people be driving this holiday season. That's about 2.5 million more from last year. The worst time to travel, by the way, today is between 1 and 8 p.m. The best time to hit the road will be before 11 a.m. INRIX expects the worst day to travel for this holiday season is going to be this Sunday.
People leave at different times. Generally speaking, the weekends are going to be the busiest. So that weekend before Christmas and the weekend before New Year's.
Okay, to beat the traffic, head out on the roads before 2 p.m. Saturday and noon on Sunday.
Okay, if you are hitting the roads, today's average gas price in San Diego County, $4.45 for a gallon of regular, about 30 cents less than what you were paying this time last year.
Be very bad. If it gets to a point where TSA workers have to choose between, am I going to feed my children, put gas in my car, or come to work because they're without a paycheck, that's definitely going to affect the way that passengers travel throughout the nation.
Federal employees could be working over the holidays without pay if the government shuts down tonight. Lawmakers have just a few hours to pass a spending measure.
Let's show you live now. This is the Capitol, where a last-ditch vote on a GOP measure backed by President-elect Donald Trump failed last night. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Coronado with how a shutdown would impact so many here in San Diego. Chris, good morning.
And the House gathering this morning to go over what Speaker Mike Johnson says is a new proposal for a stopgap measure to keep the government funded. This last measure, of course, in the original bipartisan agreement was to keep funding going for about 3 months. But if no agreement does come to fruition, we could see tens of thousands of federal workers here in San Diego alone impacted by this. Border Patrol agents, TSA agents going without pay, potentially, again, being furloughed. And then the $250 million that was promised in that original agreement could be in jeopardy if we do indeed see a government shutdown, that money going towards the South Bay wastewater treatment plant. Here's Congressman Mike Levin speaking about this.
Know that if it doesn't happen as part of this deal, it could be several years before we get the opportunity to do it again. So just add that to the list of things that are so critically important in this deal. I've never seen anything like it where an unelected billionaire, in fact, the richest person in the world, dictates the terms to the Republicans in the House and the Senate.
So let's go over the timeline right now. There was an original bipartisan agreement on the table to keep the government funded for about 3 months. And it wasn't until billionaire Elon Musk went on X, formerly known as Twitter, went ahead and voiced his displeasure with this agreement. Then you saw President-elect Donald Trump chime in as well, and the agreement was killed. Then Republicans put together a smaller bill, in fact, a physically smaller bill, 116 pages compared to the original 1,500-page agreement. It included reduced spending in some areas by cutting funding to several programs. One of those cuts that has drawn a lot of criticism was funding for childhood cancer research. But a key political point is that it would have pushed the debt limit to January 30th of 2027, which many theorize Republicans want to do now to help Trump with his plans for tax cuts when he takes office. It did draw support from Musk and Trump. However, that bill failed to pass as dozens of Republicans voted against it. And even if passed, the Senate was unlikely to pass it, as well as President Biden unlikely to sign it. Now, Speaker Johnson does believe that a deal can still be struck. In fact, he told reporters as much this morning. Here's what he had to say yesterday.
The only difference on this legislation was that we would push the debt ceiling to January of 2027. We will regroup and we will come up with another solution.
As Speaker Johnson said this morning, he does have indeed a solution to be voted on today. Whether or not they will get the necessary votes, including from fiscally conservative Republicans who object to the debt limit again being pushed there to 2027, remains to be seen. They have until midnight East Coast time to figure this all out. Eric and Netta.
Yeah, let's hope something gets done here soon. Chris, thanks for that. Hey, thousands of sailors and Marines aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln are coming home this morning. Military officials say the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group bolstered the U.S. military presence in the Middle East amid escalating tensions in the region. The aircraft carrier will arrive at Naval Air Station Coronado in a few hours, and we will be there live during our midday shows with all of those happy reunions, those tears, those hugs, those kisses, those sailors and service members seeing their children, their little babies for the first time.
Some born while they were gone.
The flowers, the signs. It is one of the best stories we get to cover here in San Diego.
It really is. And especially now because it's right before the holidays.
Yeah,
so they're
timing.
home for the holidays. Incredible timing. Glad to see that they'll all get together. And the best gifts, right, that you can have is being with your loved ones. Looking at your satellite radar here, and we're seeing a little bit of cloud coverage, although some of it's moving on. So, hey, that's a great sign. When it comes to that fog this morning, it's improving, which is pretty good to see, because especially as people are headed out to drive or maybe to the airport. I do want to show you this rain cloud forecast model, and it does indicate clearing for parts of San Diego this afternoon. Tonight, though, the marine layer will be back. Each morning, we'll have that marine layer, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, maybe that drizzle coming through with it. So just a heads up, weather pattern is changing on us. Onshore wind as opposed to offshore dry winds. The offshore winds always push the clouds away. This time, we're getting those clouds from the coastline. 43 degrees along the coast in Del Mar, 45 in Encinitas. Inland Poway, you're at 41, 36 in Ramona. Ramona got all the way to the mid-80s yesterday, breaking that record. And now, obviously, the overnight temperatures are very chilly there. Looking at your next 12 hours for downtown, upper 60s for your forecast. And do expect that sun. I know at the moment, right around the airport, there's a little bit of a fog, but basically we're all going to see the sun today, and temperatures won't be as warm as yesterday, but still pretty mild. I mean, this is still about 10 degrees or more above average. 77 at El Cajon and Santee, 75 Mira Mesa. If you're by the water, it's a little cooler, as it always is. 66 in Coronado, 62 PB. La Jolla right around 60, and looking at Carlsbad, 66, Oceanside 71, San Marcos, Rancho Bernardo 73 degrees. Here's a check now of traffic, and I do want to show you a couple crashes. Looks like it's getting even busier out on the roadways right now. So overall, there are a few to get to. Let me just get to a couple while we can here. This one on the 163 northbound from Claremont Mesa Boulevard. The shoulder is blocked due to a crash, so watch out for emergency vehicles perhaps on the scene there. And then the entry ramp at the 5 northbound from Pershing Drive, the shoulder is blocked because of that crash. It doesn't look like things are quite slowing down yet, but over the next 30 minutes or so, we tend to see more traffic out there. So we'll keep an eye on things for you. And now border wait times are headed through the port of entry, coming in from Mexico through San Ysidro. It takes 115 minutes. Otay Mesa's port of entry, about half that at 60 minutes to get through.